Hey there, it's Ashley here from the Loopy Lamb, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a mini crochet beanie for my Chillin with my Snowmies, Snowmen. Now these hats are really quick and easy to make, and they can actually potentially fit other amigurumi. I've designed them from the top down, so that way you can try them on another amigurumi toy to see if it will fit those toys as well. Now, to follow along with today's tutorial, there are two different material lists, depending on what size you're making. So if you want to make the jumbo snowman, you'll follow the materials that I'm going to pop onto the screen in just a moment for the jumbo snowman. And then if you're wanting to make the mini snowman, which uses worsted weight yarn, then you're going to use the material list that I'm going to provide for the mini snowman. If you haven't already made your snowman, this is available as an ad-supported free version over on my blog, theloopylamb.com, and I'll link to that in the description box below, or as a step-by-step video tutorial here on the channel. Let's hop on in to crocheting our mini beanies for our amigurumi snowman. To start our beanie for our snowman, we're going to need to start with a magic circle or adjustable ring. To do that, we're going to hold the yarn tail across our palm, pin it down, and wrap the yarn around our fingers like so. Then we're going to cross it over itself. And now while we're maintaining tension on the working end of the yarn, we're going to flip our hand, and then we're going to pin that yarn down between our ring finger and our pinky finger. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and insert it under the first strand, over the second, and then pull the second strand out from under the first, and then give your hook a little twist. And what your goal here is to create that little cross in the yarn right there. Then we're going to yarn over with this strand of yarn and pull that through the yarn on your hook. And then you can remove your fingers. Then grab your yarn tail and remove it from the ring. If you need to see that done slower, check out my how to make a magic circle video here on the channel. So for round one of the beanie, we're going to work 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So I'm holding my yarn tail parallel with the ring because I'm going to work over my yarn tail. So inserting your hook into the magic circle, you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. That's your first single crochet completed. And since our pattern says we need to do 6, we're going to have to make 5 more. So again, back into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both loops to complete your second single crochet. Then we're going to continue to do this until we have 6 stitches. So I've got my 6 stitches. If you want to double check your count, turn your work so the V's are facing upwards. We never count the yarn on your hook as a stitch. And we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now this very first one often is tighter than the rest, and you can often find it kind of sloping down sideways. So you might have to flip your work up a little bit in order to see it easier. Now that we've got round 1 complete, we're going to grab our yarn tail, and with our other hand, hold on to our stitches and pull our yarn tail to close our magic ring. There we go. Now we're ready to move into round 2. Grab your stitch marker because you're going to be needing that in just a moment. So working into round 2, we're going to work a single crochet increase into each stitch around, and that's 2 single crochets worked into each stitch. So let's do that together. Working into the first stitch here, we're going to single crochet, and then we're going to take our stitch marker and place it under both loops of that completed stitch. And we're going to continue to mark that first stitch of the round every round. We want to move our stitch marker up every round. Okay, so we've done 1/2 of our single crochet increase. We're going to go back into that same stitch and single crochet a second time. And that's your single crochet increase completed. So now we're going to do that in each stitch around. We'll do it one more time together. Into the next stitch. There's 1, back into the same stitch. And there's 2. So if you'd like to pause your video and do a single crochet increase into each stitch around, at the end of the round you should have 12 stitches. I'll meet you back here in just a moment to show you how we're moving into round 3. Alright, so we're starting round 3 and I'm moving my stitch marker out of the way. And we're going to start this round by working 1 single crochet into that first stitch. Then we're going to grab our stitch marker and place it into that stitch. And in the next stitch, we're going to work a single crochet increase. So again, that's 2 single crochets worked into the same stitch. So there's 1, back into the same stitch, and there's 2. And so what we've just done is a pattern repeat. In our pattern, it's written as single crochet followed by single crochet increase. And we need to do this repeat a total of 6 times around. So we've done it once, and we're going to do it again. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 2 single crochets into the next. And we're going to do it again. 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 2 single crochets into the next. At the end of this round, you should have 18 stitches. So if you'd like to pause your video and repeat this pattern of 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 2 in the next, I'll meet you back here when we're ready to start round 4. All right, so we're moving into round 4. We're going to move our stitch marker out of the way, and we're going to work 1 single crochet into that first stitch. And we're going to place our stitch marker into that stitch. And in this next stitch here, we're going to work a single crochet increase. So here's the first stitch, back into the same stitch, and here's our second. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. There's 1, and there's 2. Now we're going to work a single crochet increase into the next stitch. Right. Now we'll work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, followed by a single crochet increase. One single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, single crochet increase here in the next, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, single crochet increase into the next, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, single crochet increase into the next, and you have 1 stitch left to work in this round, and we're just going to work 1 single crochet into that stitch. At the end of round 4, you should have 24 stitches. Now, if you're wanting to match the gauge, say you've matched the gauge given to you in the snowman pattern, then you're going to want to match gauge with your hat as well to ensure that it fits. So now if you didn't match gauge, you don't have to. However, you want to make sure that you maintain the same tension that you used in the snowman as you do the hats. Okay, so we're just going to double check our gauge here. If you're making the mini snowman hat like I am here, your gauge measured across the widest point here from front loop to front loop should equal 1.5 inches. All right, and mine is bang on. If you're making the jumbo snowman hat, then at this point, across the widest point of your piece, it should measure 3.5 inches. All right. So now we're going to do round 5. Round 5 is an easy one. We're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So if you'd like to pause your video and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, I'll meet you back here at the end of the round to show you what we need to do before moving on to round 6. So we're here at the end of round 5, and before we move into round 6, we need to join our last stitch to our first stitch. And so I'm going to move my stitch marker out of the way here. I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then I'm going to pull that loop through the loop that was already on my hook to create a slip stitch. Now, I find it easy or easier at this point to put a stitch marker in my last stitch. And it's also very helpful to put one in your first stitch as well, because it's very common for folks to pick up or lose stitches when you start joining with a slip stitch. So if you need to put a stitch marker in your first and last stitch, go ahead and do that. It really is a lifesaver and helps you with some frogging or potential frogging. So we're going to move into round 6 now, and we're going to start it with a chain of 2. So we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. There is your chain 2. And now this chain 2 will count as your first double crochet here and throughout this pattern, right? So when your chain stitch counts as or your turning chain counts as a stitch, that means you skip the first stitch and you start working in your second. So we're going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch around. So we're going to yarn over, insert into the second stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook at this point. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, 2 loops remaining, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that's your first double crochet completed. We'll do that again together. Yarn over, into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And one last time, yarn over, into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So if you'd like to pause your video and work 1 double crochet into each stitch around, I'll meet you back here when we're done to show you what we need to do before moving into round 7. Alright, so I'm here at the end of round 6, and what we need to do is join our last stitch to our first stitch with a slip stitch. Now, if you recall at the beginning, we said that that chain 2 is our first stitch, so that means we're joining into the top of our chain 2. So if I pull my work apart, you can see that this is our chain 2, and we want to insert our hook at the very top chain. So we're going to insert our hook here, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Then we're going to pull that loop through the loop that's already on our hook to do our slip stitch. And now we're ready to move into round 7. We're going to start again by a chain 2, 1 and 2. And I'm just going to pause a moment to put my stitch marker here in the top of my last stitch. And in this row or round, we're going to be making the ribbing for our beanie. So we're going to start with a front post double crochet. We skip the first stitch, yarn over, and insert our hook from front to back, and then back to front around the post of the next stitch. So do that again, yarn over, and insert back front to back, then bring it back out to the front to pick up that post, then yarn over and pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Then we're going to do a back post double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook from back to front, and then front to back, and you're pushing that post to the back of your work. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So you can see when we're doing our double crochet stitches around a post, the actual stitch is done the same. It's just your hook placement that changes. So we're repeating this pattern of front post double, back post double around our piece. So we're going to do a front post double crochet next. So we're going to yarn over, insert around the post, so front to back, then back to front, picking up that post, then yarn over, pull up a loop, and then finish your double crochet. Then we're going to do a back post. So yarn over, bring your hook to the back of the fabric, insert from back to front, then front to back, pushing that post to the back of your work, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And that's your back post double crochet completed. So you're going to repeat that pattern around front post double crochet followed by a back post double crochet, and I'll meet you back here in just a moment. At the end of this round, you should have 1 stitch left to work, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do in just a moment. All right, so we're at the end of round 7. I have 1 stitch left to be worked. I'm going to move my stitch marker out of the way. So I've done that front post, back post, repeat all the way around. And when I've done my repeat, I have 1 stitch left to be worked. And in that last stitch, I'm going to do a front post double. And now I'm done that round and just need to join my round together. So I'm going to insert my hook in the top of that chain 2 and then slip stitch to join. And now I can cut my yarn. And I'm going to pull that yarn all the way through my slip stitch there and pull it tight. And then you can weave in your ends. I mean, how cute is this little mini one? Now, I'm going to just leave my yarn tails for now because no one wants to watch me do that. But I have gone ahead and made my pom-pom off screen. If you want to learn how to make a yarn pom-pom, you can check out my video tutorials here on the channel. I've got 2 different ones so far showing different ways to make a yarn pom-pom. So you can follow those if you'd like. And then once you have your yarn pom-pom, you're just going to need to secure it to the top of your hat. I'm going to trim up my tails so they're even here. And then I'm going to thread them onto my tapestry needle, go through the top of the hat here to pull my yarn tails inside. And how cute is that? Now I'm going to finish securing my pom-pom to the top of my hat. If you're not sure how to secure a pom-pom to the top of a hat, check out my tutorial here on the channel as well, which will show you how to do it. It's the same method for a mini hat as it is a large hat. Here it is. This is my completed mini beanie for my mini snowman. And I just think it is so cute. It doesn't take long to make, and you know, you can customize it in all the different colors, and you can leave out the pom-pom if that's what you'd prefer. So I'm going to put mine on my little snowman here. And he is just so cute. If you want to adjust the length of your hat, you can add some more rows of single crochet around round 5. But I really like the look of this one and think it's adorable. So if you're wanting to make some other hats for your snowman, we have other patterns coming out for this little guy. We're going to have a top hat and a Santa hat for him as well. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel if you want to be alerted when those become available as well. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing to this channel. If you like free crochet patterns, please check out my blog, theloopylamb.com, where I've got hundreds of free crochet patterns, many of which have step-by-step video tutorials just like this one. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Happy crocheting, and I'll see you next time.